Nicholas Poynton is standing very by in the studio to discuss business. Hi, Nicholas.
Hello.
Mainzeal, day 2 of their appeal. This is a complicated saga, so break down what's happened today for us.
Yeah, so a big day in court today. So yesterday, for the briefest of recaps, yesterday the court heard why 3 of the 4 directors who were on trial last year, they heard why their arguments for why they weren't reckless to continue to trade the company when it was technically insolvent. And this morning that moved to, if they are liable, how should those costs actually be calculated? Because I'm sure you can imagine it's really hard to determine. There's no straightforward way. There's no gold standard for the court to determine how much money was actually lost when the company's directors made the decision to continue trading in 2010. At the moment, that amount is set at $36 million. The liquidators, who actually cross-appealing, they say that should be doubled, but there is also actually a belief, this hasn't been said yet, but there is a belief that the liquidators will actually push for the board's chair, the former Prime Minister Dame Jenny Shipley, to actually pay more. So today, anticipating this, Dame Jenny's lawyer, Michael Arthur, says, nah, that's not fair. He says to order her to pay more as the chair infers that she has a higher level of responsibility, but that was never spoken to or clarified throughout any of these court processes. He also says that as the chair, she has no additional power. She's not privy to any information that the other directors are not. Effectively, she's just another seat around the table. He also speaks to the precedent that if they do decide to hold each director liable, what precedent that would set, because you can imagine in future examples where a company goes bust, you could almost envision directors all trying to rush and wash their hands off and saying that they're not liable at all. Imagine the director who has no accounting experience, who says, oh well, I didn't understand what was going on in the books. How can I be responsible? I couldn't see what was going on. And you can see how that could spiral on and on. So Dame Jenny's lawyer says the High Court judge should have considered a nil or a nominal sum for the damages at the time. So that's where it rounded out for 3 of the 4 directors. This afternoon, we finally heard from the lawyers for the 4th director. This is Richard Yan. So he was on the board of Mainzeal, but also on the board for the parent company.
Right.
And remember, this is the parent company that told Mainzeal, if you ever get into trouble, we're going to have your back. We're going to support you. Well, that never actually happened. So their lawyers put forward more or less a similar case to the other directors. They say he was not liable, but he's actually been ordered to pay $18 million, while the other directors have been asked to pay $6 million each. His lawyers say that's far too much, and given how much the other directors are having to pay. Then finally this afternoon, as things began to wrap up, we heard from Mark O'Brien QC, so he's the lawyer for the liquidators, and he came out swinging. He says the collapse of this company was totally predictable. It was an accident waiting to happen. He says they should never have relied on the support of the parent company. He says while there were instances that this company had supported Mainzeal, it was not in an overall position to support the company. So we can expect him to get absolutely stuck into the submissions tomorrow. His premise is basically this was avoidable. There was no need for these creditors to continue to trade this company, and it's left creditors out of pocket.
Remind us, is it for the whole week set down for?
Yep. So this is for 5 days been set aside. So hopefully on Friday I'll come here and we'll have
a conclusion of some sort. Anyway.
Of some sort, yeah.
Yeah. What's been going on in the markets, Nicholas?
So today the NZX top 50 is actually down a touch by 7 points to 11,588. The New Zealand dollar is down by 1/3% to 66.6 US cents, down to 93.2 Australian, and steady at 51.8 British pence. And special mention to gold again, it's up to $1,944 US dollars an ounce, and we can't forget its poorer cousin. Silver's having a bit of a cameo. It's up nearly 0.5% to 24 US dollars an ounce.
Unfortunately, we don't have any of those. That's Nicholas Poynton with our business news.